Well, hi, everyone. Welcome. I am really looking forward to today. I have been thinking about this day for quite a while, and I've done a few of these different trainings. And I got Toril to be able to come in, and Toril and her husband are just such amazing, wonderful, just great people. And Toril is a realtor and has been doing it for 26 years now, right, Toril?
Yep, 26.
26 years now up in Sumner, Washington. I will tell you, I have personally referred her team a few transactions. I don't live up in Washington. My wife is from there, and their team's done an amazing job. So Toril and I first met about 3 or 4 years ago through Michael Mayer, and big shout out to Michael because I know he's impacted both your and I's lives tremendously, and probably some of the people on this call. And for those of you who don't know who Michael is, he wrote this book called 7 Levels of Communication. I think it's one of the best real estate books I've ever read, flat out. So topics for other times, but I'm just going to let you know, just to give you an idea about Toril and what she's bringing to the table. Toril's team did almost $100 million in volume in real estate sales last year. So that's a pretty good clip right there, right? Toril also has 1,000 plus Google 5-star reviews. I'm starting a campaign right now. I'm at 15. So, you got to start somewhere, right?
I'll start somewhere.
Absolutely. Also, Toril, this is another topic for another day that I'm going to rope her into. Toril does amazing client events. I happen to have some time this last weekend. Toril had an event for about 250 of her clients. Did a comedy night or comedy day actually on a Sunday. And that's one of the big takeaways I got is Sunday afternoons are not a bad idea for a client event. She did an event. She had 46 referrals before the event started. Okay. And I think, Tori, you said you had another 13 or so. And then here's on top of that. That's just to referrals to her team. She has a really cool door prize entry form where the vendors also get referrals. And I think you said about 75 referrals to your vendors.
Yep.
So that's incredible right there too. Okay. Another thing, Toril, we're just going to keep talking for the next hour just about you. No.
You're so nice.
Another thing Toril has, you guys have probably heard about Facebook groups. Well, Toril's tribe has over 1,100 people in her Facebook group. That's on my docket of things to do. And that's just an amazing way. And it also makes you doing client events a lot easier in your communications to your clients. I imagine a lot easier than a lot of us and what we have to do. So, but with all that, you guys, we are not here to talk about those things today, even though we're going to have some Q&A with Toril. We are here to talk about her Give Back program. And it's something she started back in 2018. And I'm going to pull up a slide here real quick here. And she started in 2018. She's given back, as of April 22nd, she's given back $232,816.80 to local charities. That is incredible. And she's going to talk a little bit about how she's doing that. Also, you guys see her mugs there. She gives away mugs. I believe in copying what people do. And guess what? I have my NKS financial mugs that look like Toril's. I guess I'm very simple. I just copied her. So a lot of cool things that Toril's doing with her community. And I want to tell you, when I saw her clients, when she got up on stage on Sunday and talked about the Give Back mission, the place erupted. The place was so much a part of her community and what she's doing. These people, these clients love her and they really respect her and feel really big part of your team, Toril. And I think that was amazing. I won't take up any more of you guys' time. The one thing I want to tell you, Toril's team, I love this. Your mission is to help people make friends, have fun, make money, and give back. And so you guys, with that here, Toril White.
Thank you, guys. Neal, that was amazing. Thank you so much for the introduction and the shout outs. We've been working hard, right? Like we've been really like just trying to create community. And one of the biggest things I'm proud of is that we created and launched our Give Back Big mission. And I knew that I wanted to do something. I wanted to be known for more than just selling a bunch of real estate. I wanted to be known for leaving a legacy and making a difference in my hometown, in my community. And if you guys want to turn on your cameras, like I would love to have it like interactive where like I could ask you like, hey, you know, who has a give back mission, and we can really make this like a win-win, hopefully. But you don't have to, there's no obligation. But I really got excited when I heard two friends in the industry, because I'm just like Neal, like if there is something that I think is really cool and working well for someone, I really like to look at that and then copy it and tweak it to be my own. That's what I'm best at. I'm like one of the world's best copiers, maybe. I'm not like inventive really, like I'm good at taking an idea and tweaking it to be my own, but that's what I did. Is so I'm at a conference, I'm listening to two different speakers that I've known for years. One is giving a goat. So he collects from his transactions money to go towards buying these goats for Uganda. And I was just like, holy cow, that's super cool. Another friend of mine from California, Anthony, he's taking 10% of his commissions and contributing them to local charities. And I'm like, hey, I've wanted to do something like this for a long time. Like, how do I implement this? And so I just got with them. I was like, hey, you know, how did you launch it? Like, what did it take? And they were willing to share, just like here, I'm willing to share, because wouldn't it be cool as as an industry as a whole, if we were known not just for like being salespeople, but for being givers, right? So that's why my mission, it ends with giving back, right? Because what is it all about if it's not about giving back? So it was scary though, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I have a team, and are they going to want to give back? Like, and if they don't, are they going to still be on my team? You know, all these questions like were in my mind. And we do a team goal setting advance where we get together, like I assume all of you guys do, like with teams, or you just kind of get together with yourself if you're independent, and you kind of write down your projections and your intentions and your strategies for the next year. Well, at this huddle, at this advance, I proposed it to the team. I was like, hey, I would love to take 10% of our net commissions, and we'll break that down in a minute, and contribute it to our community.
Okay. So
I would love for us all to be on board to do that.
There's been a lot of conversation with the other.
I'll mute her. Okay.
And I was thinking, I'm like, oh no, you know, like, are they going to be on board? And it was all hands on deck, because this has been in my heart. This is what makes my heart sing. I know this is who we are as a team. We were already doing like drives for the food bank. We were doing coat drives. We were doing school supply drives. Like you're already probably in the motion of doing these kind of things. And I just knew we could do better. Right. And so as soon as I mentioned, I'm like, hey, I have this plan. This is what it looks like. And they were like, oh my gosh, we were wondering when we were going to do something like this. We were all on board. Like not even one team member questioned us giving back to our community. And we're not giving back, like the number 232,000 is huge, right? Like that's just like mind blowing to me, because I remember when we were like at $1,000. But for every $10,000 commission that our team earns, it's $250. Like I literally was like, how do I make it so it's still conservative, but it's still giving back? Because it's 10% of our net commission. And I thought maybe if we had the worst real estate market ever, maybe I would net, 25%. You know what I mean? Versus like a 40 or 50%, which is always our goal, right? Of our earned commissions or our net after all expenses paid. So the formula is 25% of the net commission. So for every $10,000, it's $250. So the math is really easy, right? And so with them, out of we split it 50-50. So my team member is $125 on 10,000, and I'm $125. So in the scheme of things, right, like it adds up real fast when you've been doing it for a couple of years. So that's kind of how we got started, is we just had to come together. I had to get the idea. I had to create it to be my own. And we started moving forward. So we should probably break it down, Neal, right?
Well, real quick, I want to talk we definitely break it down, but you're very goal oriented. Like what was your goal like year one? And then like, what's your goal now? Where are you at? Because you've progressed through this, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, you have to have like a BHAG, right? We've all heard of the big audacious goal, right? So my BHAG is by the time I'm 50, we've set this big goal to give back $1 million to our community. And I just turned 45 and we're at 230,000. So we are on our way, right? Here's the thing is it's about 50 to 60,000, 40 to 60, 40 to 70,000 we've been giving back per year. But I'll tell you, since we launched this, we have increased, almost doubled our average sales price, which what does that mean? We give back more. Our vendors we love, some of them are matching our give back, which is almost doubling what we've given back. Some of our clients have decided to match what we're giving back to the charity on their sale. So not only are we giving back, they are giving back also. So all of these things are compounding to get us to our goal faster.
That is cool. What with year one, what was your goal?
Year one, we had a 75,000 goal, and I think we landed at 50.
That's still huge. 75 is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, and other thing, what was your biggest challenge in starting this?
Just implementing it, right? Like just deciding, hey, let's have a plan. When the commission check comes in, take that amount of money and set it aside. And then everything was easy, right? Because then you could just be like gathering the money and then figuring out who you're going to give it to, right? Because, and then being saying, hey, 10% of our commissions are going to a local charity. People don't ask like, how did you come up with that 10%? Why is it $521? I've never had anyone say your math is wrong. I've never had anyone say, you know what I mean? Like, it just hasn't even been a question. It's just like, oh my gosh, how grateful are we to be part of it? And we do it on behalf of our client. So we make it clear that we're not charging you more. We're not earning more. We're still the same service, same amazing real estate brokers that you've hired and that you know and you love and you trust. However, on your behalf, we want you to pick a charity of your choice. Here are the 5 charities that you get to pick from. And we're going to contribute this amount of money on your behalf because you bought and sold with us.
That's good. Okay. So can you talk a little bit about the charities? How did you guys as a team pick it? Do you rotate those every year? How does all that kind of work on the charities you donate to?
That's a great question. So it was really easy because I literally had posted a thing on Facebook. Hey, I'm interested to know what charities people recommend. And I'll tell you, people want to chime in and share about their charity because people get really passionate about charities, right? I also went to my team and like, who moves your mountains? Like what makes your heart sing charity wise? And so we got a list of charities, right? And I tried to keep it within 5 categories, like animals, fur babies, children, housing or homelessness, foster kids. And then we have our 5th one. We had a cancer one in the past, and now we have a children one, Mary Bridge. And so what happened is we made sure that we had these 5. So then that way it would be easy for someone to choose depending on where their heart was, right? Yep. And we usually are asking them, hey, what amount of money is going to your charity versus to the corporation or this nonprofit? Because some charities like only 70%, right? So we vetted them. And then as soon as we had this list of people or charities that we were recommended to, we interviewed them. So we have team huddles. So we had them come into our team huddle and tell us why we should choose them. Hey, we have this big mission. We have this idea. We're going to partner with you because guess what? They become part of your tribe too. And they end up buying and selling houses with you because, you're partnering with them. And so as soon as we knew that it was going to be a win-win, we had the same core values, same mission, we partnered with them. And then we really have stuck with those charities besides a couple. Like we had one that was a little bit more worldwide than hyper local. So we were like, that didn't really fit our mission. So we've actually almost had the same charities for all the 4 years.
So at your annual team meeting, is that where you reevaluate or quarterly?
Yep. We revote and be like, hey, are these charities the ones that we want to stick with? And have they, been easy to work with? Are they, I do a board of advisors meeting where they get involved with what we're doing as a team. They come to our events, a lot of them. They're just really good people, right? We're aligning with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't have to do 5. Like you can do 1, like maybe cancer or Alzheimer's or fur babies. Something makes your heart sing, and you know that aligns with who you work with on a daily basis. I also had called like 10 of my top ambassadors and was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a give back. What charities would you recommend? And would you be on board with that? And do you think it's a good idea? Because getting people involved that already know, love, and trust you and refer you gets you where you're going faster, right? Because then you're aligned, you're being pushed because they're like, hey, did you start that give back mission? You know, like it kind of holds some accountability to you. So I get excited about it.
So we rotate too with our clients, and we actually did we call them, touch base on it's funny. My group is a lot of SPCAers. They love the fur babies for sure.
Yeah. And one of our biggest charities is fur babies. People love the fur babies.
Yeah, they really do. But I also, you touched on it a little bit about this give back, but this isn't the only thing you're doing, right? The event you just did on Sunday was for the food bank. So what other things are you doing besides this? I know it's a little off topic, but kind of in the same space.
Oh yeah, because it's beyond taking a percentage of your commission and contributing. There's other ways we can contribute, right? So we have usually once a quarter, and now we usually tie it to an event. So we just closed up before this event, we closed up with a March of Diapers. So the diaper drive locally, there's this March of Diapers that they collect diapers for people in need of diapers because kids don't get their diapers changed. And you wouldn't believe the nightmare stories that you hear about the need for diapers. And we had a I Love You a Latte event, basically in happy hour in February. And I thought, gosh, we have March coming. We don't have an event in March. Let's ask everyone to bring diapers. And we collected like 4,000 diapers for the March of Diapers. And we just had them available in March for them to pick up. And we also had a bin at our office, and we posted on our social media that, hey, we're still collecting diapers for the March of Diapers. And then that drive was done, right? So we always have a start date and an end date. For our comedy event, we said, hey, we've done lots of food drives, and food's heavy, right? Like, because usually our goal is like, we want to do 2 tons of food, right? Or whatever. And that's what we're the ones that carry it. So we're like, I'm going to think outside the box. We're going to do a gift card or cash food drive, because the food bank can go buy their own food, right? Like that's just like a no-brainer. And that way they can buy what they need, because we're trying to make a list of what they need. And no joke, we had over $1,000 in gift cards, cash, just at our last event. And we didn't have to carry any food. It was a freaking miracle.
Yeah, that was big. Also too, I was at your event, and I loved, you had a big thing with a Venmo, and it was just so easy to Venmo, and I'm stealing that one. And it's funny because Johnny's like, don't steal all my stuff, because I was taking pictures everywhere and stuff.
Oh, steal it all. I love it.
And so I took a picture of their Venmo. Yeah, it's so easy, right? It was so easy. I boom, Venmo, add friend Toril, boom, I just donated money. It was like bam, bam, easy, no cat. I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And then I just take it and we write the check to the food bank. I love that. And we learned though that we could do better with the Venmo. We're going to have a few of the signs. We're going to post it in advance. So it's always a work in process, right? Like we're always getting better.
Yeah. So let's talk. Okay. Would it be better for us to talk about an individual first or a team first of step one? Which do you think?
Well, what do we have here? Like, should we raise hands for like, if you want team or individual? Do we have more teams than we have individuals?
Why don't you guys put in your chat, put team or individual?
Yeah. Like, do you guys want?
Okay. Individual. Okay.
Okay. We'll do some
individual. Okay. So individual, you want to start, boom. What do you do?
Yes. Well, okay. So first of all, I want to mention to the individuals that you're not an individual. You are totally part of a team, right? Like, so you have your home inspector, you have maybe someone that that does remodeling, you have your lenders, you have your escrow, your title, you have a team, right? We can't do this by ourselves, right? So we align with these professionals, and you can bring them in to be like, hey, here's what I want to do. What do you guys think? And so maybe you attach it to your next event that you're going to do, or maybe you even just attach it to the next quarter that, hey, I want to do a food drive, and every sale that I'm going to do, I'm going to contribute $25 to a local food bank on your behalf. And it could be as simple as that. So I think that the thing is to figure out like what aligns with what charity you would want to give back to, and to make it simple to start. Because then as soon as you do that and you're like, hey, this next quarter, it's going to start this date and this date, and it's going to be for every sale. And then I'm going to be collecting gift cards from individuals, because I'm going to mention it to people that I know and love, that I have this mission that I want to collect gift cards, and do it. And then just be like, okay, we ended that. And then be like, okay, what are we going to do next? Right. And so then that way you're not like forever and ever. It's just like, hey, you're going to launch it here. It's going to be tied to an event, it's going to be tied to a transaction. It's going to be tied to me just reaching out to people to ask if they'd be involved, and then set the end date, right? Because you're like, hey, I got to collect this from you by May 30th, because that's the end date. And our goal is to collect $250 for the local food bank. And just think, I mean, getting $25 from, a few people can add up to $250 real fast. And then you just contributed $250 on behalf of your people. You're just the middle person. You're just like the way people want to give. People want to be part of something, and they just don't know how to. So you're being the facilitator. You're being that person, the idea person that says, hey, we can do this together. I'll help do it, right? But you don't want it to be where it takes up all your time, because we're still in the business to sell houses. But you know what? My favorite thing is to call someone and not be like, hey, who's the next person that wants to buy or sell and invest in real estate? They're going to stop taking my call. But my favorite thing is to text or call them and be like, hey, I'm doing this food drive. We have a goal to give away $250 to our food bank because they're in need. Do you have any extra gift cards laying around, or do you want to be part of it? And then they're going to be like, oh, yeah, totally. Like, I actually have a gift card in my wallet right now. And I'll be like, great, can I meet up with you? And then they're like, oh, and by the way, how's business, right? And then you get into the curiosity of how are you? And I'm so glad that we connected. So it's just another way to be in communication with your people beyond asking for real estate, right? Or beyond asking for whatever, that we think we should be asking for. We really just want to be on their minds as givers, right?
So individual agent, you would say do quarterly. They would start investing.
I get out on a tangent. Like I get
no. So you say quarterly goal, right? Say $250.
Yeah, $250.
I love the vendor match and getting your vendors on board. And I also love that your clients are also donating some money too. I think that's super cool. So if a client wants to donate to whatever charity, are they doing it directly and telling you how much, or are they Venmoing you, or how does that process work?
Like we've had it where they send it directly to the charity. We've had them where they Venmo or send it directly to us, and then we contribute it as a whole.
Okay. And the same thing goes with the different vendors you have and stuff like that. They're saying, hey, yeah, I want to contribute this much to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And we're like, hey, bring it on. Let's go.
Cool. What's one thing, what's like one of your craziest stories where you just were like blown away with something that happened where with a client maybe giving more money, or something that was just really unique?
Well, the stories that we get, like, so someone will choose a charity and they're like, gosh, Mary Bridge saved my child's life. Like, thank you for being involved in them and contributing, because they're going to save other children's lives. We have people that have been living on the streets through our Not One More, which is like drugs and teenage awareness for suicide and drugs, about how they were on the streets. And because we have helped this nonprofit create a way for them to get off the streets and off drugs, that they've started their life over again. So we get these stories that are just like, oh my gosh, like all we did was freaking sell a house. You know what I mean? And because of that, we're like getting people off the streets, or we're saving fur babies' lives, or we're saving children's lives, or foster children, like the kids, rather than using a freaking garbage bag to haul their stuff from each house that they have to move to, they actually get to pick out a suitcase. You know what I mean? Like this stuff gives you goosebumps that you're just the facilitator figuring out how that you can make this world better.
Well, that's awesome. That's so cool. And
so that was more than one story.
No, that's totally special, right?
Yeah.
That's
and then
super
we
cool.
share that. So when we sell a house, like, like you want to, just sold, all that stuff. Yeah, that's all good. But what if you are able to share just contributed? Like I sold this house and because we got this result for our client, we contributed $25 to the local food bank on their behalf to help our community have enough food to eat. And then you shout out the food bank. And then, and how we won this transaction is there was crazy multiple offers, but we befriended the agent, and you tell the story about how you had the pre-inspection ahead of time and the lender was on it with the appraisal. And you know what I mean? And you go into the story. So you're the facilitator. You're not the hero, right? The client's the hero. And because you got this, the client got the house, they're forever client now, they're a raving ambassador. Because they chose you, you got to contribute to the food bank, and you're just sharing all of that as one versus just sold, right? It's way more powerful.
Yeah, well, Toril just kind of breezed over that. And by the way, just that alone, if you guys got that one piece of what she did and what she talked about contribution and forever client, you said some really key words in there. I think that's what everybody needs to really understand. And that's super, super powerful for sure. So thank you.
And we can break that down more too, because they are like, I want them to be with me forever. Like, yep. Right. Like they're my forever clients. We're like full service. You need a vendor, you need your carpets clean, you need a mechanic, you need anything, you call me. I'm the connector. You want to be involved in a charity, you call me. Like I want to just be all day long the person that people talk to. And I want my team to be that too, because if we're the recommended and we're the chosen one, right? I always use, I want to be the chosen one. That's when we connect with more people. And when we go from relationships to referrals, and that's when we stop spending dollars on magazines or billboards or whatever that is to get like the suspects, right? Because everyone's a suspect before they're a prospect. I want to work with people that know, love, and trust me. Yep. And I know, love, and trust them. I don't want to work with the rest.
Now, you've obviously, you put it out there a little bit about what you're doing. I'm imagining this is in your listing presentation. I know it's on your website. I imagine the buyer consultation. I've seen some stuff on Facebook. What other things are you doing? And you're very humble. And I know that this is, how have you gotten through the psychology of all of this, of keeping to post all these things? That makes sense?
Yeah, for sure. Telling the story definitely helps me, because I'm like, hey, on behalf of our clients, we've contributed this amount. We have it everywhere. We have it on our signs. We have a real estate for sale sign, obviously, right? That's been our sign, but then we have a rider that says 10% of net commission contributed to a local charity. So when people are driving by our signs, they know that we're a give back company. It's on our website. It's in our listing materials. I'll tell you, it's a great closing question to be at a listing appointment and be talking with a client and be like, is there any reason? One of my favorite questions of all time is to ask, is there any reason why you wouldn't choose to work with us tonight or today? And obviously silence is golden, right? And they're like, no, we don't see why not. And I'm like, great. Out of the charities we went over, because it's in our listing book, which one would you like to contribute to at the end of your transaction? And why do you pick that one? And then they're like, well, we really love our fur babies. Obviously they've been jumping all over you tonight. And I'm like, I love them too. And then they're like, and we want to contribute to them. And I'm like, awesome, sign here. You know what I mean? So it's a closing question too, that says, hey, what charity are we choosing tonight or, and moving forward with? It also is, and I'll let you ask another question, but we have less commission objections, right? Like, so are we going to reduce it to not give to the charity? You know what I mean? Like, is that, you know what I mean? So that has also helped, but we've also had people that say, we want to work with your team because we heard that you are a give back team and we want to work only with someone that gives back. So, yeah. I mean, it's not about those things, right? Like, but it's fun when you see these things, happening. You're like, oh gosh, this makes it more fun.
Yeah, and it is. And it's fun because you're obviously, you're really good at what you do, but the charitable aspect. And right now, with it being such a competitive marketplace to get those listings and buyers, it's a huge extra advantage I would imagine you have. So you've been doing this for a while. Okay. We talked about your challenges of starting it. What's your biggest challenge right now, would you say?
There isn't really any challenge with the give back mission.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that my biggest challenge is that we're working to figure out how to get to 1 million in the next 5 years, right? Because in just over 4 years, we got to 232. And so, statistically, like we've been raising our average sales price and stuff. So I think that the challenge is just to get more people on board, to get more people involved. Like I would love to inspire you all to figure out, something that aligns with what you love and what your community loves, to just start somewhere, right? Like it doesn't have to be per transaction. It can just be like we talked about, like a quarterly goal, a back to school drive. There's lots of good ideas. And even just to start talking about it, because as soon as you start talking about something, that's when people are going to start holding you accountable to it. So write down like your top 10 people and just be like, I just was part of this mastermind, and I would really love to start giving back. Would you be willing to help me with it? Or do you think that's a good idea? And to tell 10 people that love and trust that you're wanting to give back more to the community is going to set, a whole level of different, mindset that they have for you. Like it's just people want to be involved with someone that wants to figure out how to change things and to give back. And I want to be a part of that. Right. So if someone called me and be like, hey, I'm trying to do this thing. And I'm like, dude, I totally support you. That's so cool. How can I help?
Yeah. Well, you guys have always been so generous to me. I'm lucky enough to have Toril's cell phone. And I use it often. And like even
you guys can message me. Like I'm really easy to reach, but I love Neal. Like we're always masterminding.
Yeah, I mean, Toril does an amazing job. And just on a sidebar, this is a plug. Toril doesn't even know I'm saying this. If you are looking to refer somebody to Washington to sell or buy real estate, Toril is amazing. I would highly recommend Toril. I imagine if it's not in her wheelhouse geographically, she'll find somebody and know somebody to get you there. So for sure. Of this program, I know you've talked so much about it, and it's so cool seeing your energy. What one outcome that you didn't think about? What outcome that's happened so far with this give back program that you had no idea that it was going to come about, or had no idea it could come about?
I think that it really just blows my mind that we've come so far. Like pretty soon you like look back and you're like, I was just holding the check for like $1,000 because we did the big check where we were sharing every month. Like we would post hey, to date, we've given back this much on behalf of our community. And then pretty soon, all of a sudden, we're celebrating our $100,000 give back, and we're going to have a big party. But it's right when COVID hit, right? So then we were like, well, gosh, we still want to share that. So we did some stuff online, and then all of a sudden, we're at our 200,000, right? So I think it just happened so fast that it's really just mind blowing that it can have just a little bit of will and helping a bunch of people can get you involved in your community so fast. And what we did do is we have a Yeti mission, like Neal was saying. And so the Yetis have two things. The Yetis have our logo on it like a statement of some sort, right? Right now we have work hard, play harder. And that's our mission.
I love that. I'm stealing that one too.
Yeah, steal it, because like that's kind of been my family motto. Like forever, my dad used to always say, "Work hard, play hard."
Yeah.
And we added the play harder because I would rather play harder than work harder. Yeah. But and then we have on the other side, we'll have our give back. And I think I have one. Just give me 1 second. Here's one of them. So you'll see that we have the work hard, play harder with our Toril Sales Houses team. And then for each milestone, this is our give back logo. And we just invented it because it's a hand, and then it has a heart with the amount of money. And it started with no money because we didn't give any money, right? Like it was zero. And so it was just the hand with the heart. I even got this is my only tattoo, and it's because it's the heart with the hand, right? Mm-hmm. actually got it in Sacramento randomly. But so anyway, as we went, so we got to the 50,000 and we put the 50,000 in their give back because we wanted to get to 50,000. You'll see that this one says 250,000 because we want to get to 250,000. So what we've created is a collection of Yeti Cups that our tribe is entering to win. They're writing reviews online and trades for a cup. You know, that's how you get the most reviews, is you post these, be like, hey, I got these cool cups, who wants one? And they're like, I do, everyone wants one. And then you message them and you're like, hey, for a quick favor, I'd be happy to get you one of these Yeti Cups. Which one do you like? But would you be willing to leave me a 5-star review? And so then you're trading Yeti Cups for 5-star reviews. And
which is brilliant, right? And I actually, I don't know if you have this. I have the website reviewneal.com.
Oh, I like it.
And so that they can easily just go and we're just targeting Google right now. So it's only reviewneal.com and you can go on there and it goes straight to Google. So
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they can be like $30 to $40 a cup, but I can tell you, you can spend a lot more money on trying to get reviews otherwise. Right. And I would rather people be walking around with my billboard to the gym, to their work, to everywhere, because Yeti Cups are freaking awesome. They will carry this with them. I've had people go like, oh my God, I need to get a new one because someone stole mine from the gym. And so then I have someone else that's a thief that's carrying around my Yeti Cup, but hey, you know, whatever. You know, they as long as they just are, it's inclusive of our tribe, right? Like we're all like carrying the same stuff around, just like everyone's carrying around their phones, like if they're part of Apple or whatever, right? So we're just kind of creating our own tribes.
Yeah, well, the thing I got from you with the Yeti Cups, because I went to REI and paid full boat. And then you're like, no, Neal, you go to the very bottom of the Yeti website and you get it wholesale and you buy it bulk. And I'm like, oh my God, that saved me money right there.
And then they'll engrave them. But we had it where Yeti was so busy at the end of last year that they canceled it, like a big order we had. And so then we went to Dick's Sporting Goods. We bought shopping carts full of them and we took them to our local engraver. And your local engraver, so say you just want to start with 10 Yeti Cups, you don't got to go, I mean, it's some money, right? So you can start with 10 Yeti Cups, give it to those 10 people that you're going to call about the charity you're thinking about and be like, hey, I want to give you this. And by the way, would you leave me a 5-star review and trade for it? And then you got 10 reviews. You got 10 people that are totally your ambassadors, right? Because you're going to start this give back. They're carrying around your Yeti Cups. It's a win-win-win. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And anybody in Sacramento, I have a great engraver that he did my engraving. I didn't do it from Yeti. He just did the engraving for me. So that's pretty cool. Anybody have any questions for Toril? It doesn't have to be about the give back program. I mean, Toril, if you guys haven't figured out, is doing a lot of really cool stuff. Does anybody have any questions? Emily, anything? No.
Anything in the chat?
You guys have an opportunity.
What are you going to do after you get to 1 million?
Oh, that's a good. I know.
Too young to quit, retire.
I know. We'll have to set a bigger goal from there.
Yeah.
For
Monique
sure.
Harps. Monique, do you have anything? No. So
didn't Monique just go debt free? Did I just read that on something?
I don't know. Did she?
Is that Monique?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Sorry. I was driving.
Congratulations on that. I just saw that today.
Thank you. I do have a question. Can you speak to like how big your team is? Because I know you've been doing it for 10 years and just, when you first hear about like all the stuff that you and a lot of other people in the Gen are doing, it almost seems a little bit overwhelming and it's hard to even envision, like, how do I get there?
Yes. Like how do you eat an elephant, right? Like one bite at a time. So yeah, no, this has been 26 years in process. I'm hoping just to help you guys get there faster than it took me 26 years to, right? So starting out with something smaller, like whatever, like if you want to be giving back, like this is our give back mastermind, is literally just start with that and be like, this year, I'm going to set a goal to give back $250 to the local charity of your choice and do that, right? And then accomplish that. And then maybe you're like, okay, so also I want to be recommended. And so I'm going to reach out to my past clients and then as you're doing that, right? Like, so you've created this system and you've acquired help, hopefully, right? Like whether it's one of your team members within your group, right, to help you with the give back, or maybe you hire like a virtual assistant. I can tell you that Toril does not do all of this. I just can't. So I immediately hired 11 years ago, before we started launching the events, a personal assistant that was virtual. And so they helped me create a system for each thing we're doing. So with the reviews, I don't know how many of you guys have a bunch of reviews that are like written, if you've been in the business a long time, but we used to get them written, right? Because it was before everything was online. So I had hundreds of reviews that were just in a book. And so what we did is we typed out what the people had written in the past. And we said, hey, would you be willing to cut and paste this over to, at the time it was Zillow? And would you just, and then if you do, you'll enter to win money or an iPad or something like that. And so then we just created a system that on every transaction, we're going to ask for the review. Plus, in the meantime, we have someone requesting from people we've already had reviews from to cut and paste them. So then we just kind of I had the idea to do this, and then we're like, okay, let's set out this mission. We want to get 100 reviews in the next 6 months. Here's how we're going to do it. And then you delegate it to that person. Right. And I think I pay my virtual assistants like $11 an hour. I have 4 of them, and they do all of this stuff virtually. And so you can start with a virtual assistant. And I truly believe that anything and everything that can be done virtually should be done virtually. And there's so much stuff we do in this business that's virtual. Ordering the Yeti Cups, designing the Yeti Cups, asking for reviews, pre-listing packets, all of our marketing materials, all of our social media, everything is done virtual. The only thing that we should be doing that's belly to belly with people is listing appointments, buyer consultations, showing houses, and events. Everything else is virtual. So I can tell you that as soon as I hired someone to start helping me, they were like, what's next? What's next? And it pushed me to go faster to get things done with our give back, to get things done with getting reviews. And so set that intention, be like, okay, this year I'm going to give back. And this is what it's going to look like. Who do I need to help? Who can help me? Like one of my favorite quotes is, the who is not you, right? Like you can't do all of this for everyone. Like it's just impossible to be everything to everyone. Your strength probably is like helping people buy or sell houses or do loans or whatever you're on, like some kind of sales in our industry. Your strength is to talk to people. So you need someone that is good with the paperwork and good with the systems, and then immediately delegate the items that you're doing that you shouldn't be, so you can be with more people in communication. And so that's where I kind of got out of my own way. And I said, I need to invest in an assistant, which I now call a manager, because if I don't have an assistant, I am one, right? And I should be making thousands of dollars an hour doing what I do versus paying someone virtually like $10 or $12 an hour.
So as a realtor, Toril, how many transactions or volume would you say they need to be to take that step for a VA? And would it be the VA be more marketing based or more transaction coordinating based? What would be your recommendation?
So the when I first hired, it was before virtual anything, because I'm super old, but I literally did a list. I said, okay, what is everything that gives me pain, right? Bookkeeping gives me pain. Designing any kind of marketing gives me pain. Social media posts, pre-listing package, pulling comparables, you name it, like all that virtual stuff gives me pain. Like I want to talk with people. I want to be moving and shaking. Right. And guess what? That list that I made, this list that you're going to make, maybe you do it right after this mastermind, is your job description for your next hire. Because that's where your strengths don't lie. Those are the things you put off. Those are the things that are slowing you down, that someone else you're going to interview and find is really good at those things. And when they're really good at those things, they're going to help you be better at what you do. And then that was the job description that was immediately implemented. And then pretty soon Toril found more things that I didn't want to do or that I was not great at. And that was another job description. And then pretty soon I realized that I shouldn't be doing a lot of anything because everyone was way better at it than me. So here I am. I get to talk on these things.
This
And
is
you
great.
just surround yourself with good people, right? That's what you do.
We're going to go back. There's a question. Can you talk through a little bit of the detail of where that you got the 10% and how you kind of break that down a little bit? What I love about this, Toril, is I'm in my own head and I've been trying to figure out what number it needs to be in the net and how do I figure all that stuff out. And you just had such a simple way of figuring that out. It's not an exact number, but I love what you did.
Yeah. So like we have our gross commissions, right? Like, so say we did $1 million in commission, and what we do is we do 10% of our net commission. And we know that after marketing expenses, overhead, all of those things, the goal as an entrepreneur or business owner is to net 40 to 50% of that $1 million, right? So maybe you net 400 or 500,000.
Yeah.
Well, I looked at it as if I had the worst year ever in real estate. Hopefully I would net at least still 25%, like 250,000. So then I said, okay, based on the 250,000, I'm going to give 10% of that to a local charity. And so that's how we came up with, if it's $10,000 that I've earned for a commission, I'm going to contribute $250 because it's the net commission to a local charity on my client's behalf. And it's just simple math like that.
Well, and also where the accelerant is the vendors.
Yeah.
And the accelerant also is the client, right? The client's going, wow, you did such a great job for me. You got me $30,000, $40,000 more. Wow. I want to help too. And I love fur babies as well. This is so cool and great karma. Right.
Yep. Yeah.
It's super powerful.
And so they don't, like I was saying, they're not like, well, how did you come up with the amount you're going to give back on my behalf? That's never even been a thing. Like don't worry about it.
Another question is, do you recommend Google reviews over Zillow?
Both, right? So Zillow, I don't really like where they're going, but no one has, I don't really have a lot of words on that. Besides, at one point I was like, if you can't beat them, join them. I might as well be the most recommended on Zillow. So I think we have 450 reviews there, but I was sending all my people there. And so then they have all my people's email addresses. So then I pulled back from that the last couple of years and I focused on the Google reviews because I control that. It's my people. And so I would prefer Google reviews over Facebook or I don't mind Facebook, but over the Zillow reviews because of Zillow, becoming a real estate agent in our market.
I totally agree with you. A couple of things, you guys. First of all, Toril, we're coming to the end here. I want to say thank you so much. And I hopefully am going to rope you into talking about some more stuff down the road.
My pleasure. I love to share. And I just want to help people. And I hope that I don't overwhelm anyone because it's just literally just one step at a time, right? Create that list and start checking it off. Like how do you implement it?
So you guys, we do have a drawing. Okay. And it is to get a half an hour with Toril. Okay. Yeah. And what we're going to be doing is in the chat bar, you're going to be putting a number from 1 to 100. And the closest one to that, I've already written down the number. I already have it printed out, all that stuff. It's all ready to go. I'm going to show you guys the number from 1 to 100. Closest one gets a half hour with Toril.
Mastermind. Let's do it.
Yep. Okay.
We're coming in fast. There's a lot of strategy to which
they're coming in real fast.
It's like the Price is Right.
I love it.
Okay, you guys, we got our winner. Okay, it's, if you guys can see, it's 42, and 44 is Kara.
Kara, awesome.
Kara, awesome. So what we'll do is we'll get you in contact with Toril and go from there. And hey, let you guys know a couple of things I have coming up. I have Nicole Aldaz. I'm going to interview on June 9th. Toril knows Nicole and so does Monique. Nicole does an amazing job as a virtual client event that doesn't cost that much money at all. And she really got a lot of results for amount of money she put in. And I want to have her on June 9th to talk about how to do a virtual event, very simple, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. So that's June 9th. I also have another friend of mine. His name is Ed Gachin. Ed has a program on how to vet an out of town referral to another realtor, how to vet that realtor. And he has a system in place and how to make sure that the client has an amazing experience. And Ed's actually in the past has built a company around this. So if you guys have given referrals in the past and just kind of haphazardly done it, and you want a system around that, Ed's going to be doing that. And that's probably sometime in August. So thank you, Toril, so much. And thank you everybody for your support. And I hope you guys got a lot out of today. I did, for sure.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.